Hello, friends of Tattoo Shop Talk. This is our weekly web show. We have Carlos back, and we will share our experiences, and hopefully you will pick up something. And this time we will talk about this Jedi, his journey in tattoo world, where he was at the beginning, where he wanted to go, and at the end, like always, what made it happen. So follow up, people. He's shocked.
I'm shocked to be back. I'm lovely, happy. My place is still warm. There have been so many different guys.
Different asses.
Different asses has been going through Juris.
Yeah,
Buddy.
I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, so let's go.
Let's
What's
go.
happening?
You've been away for a while, so tell me what's been happening in your life. So, what's
I need to warm up. Get
So,
that adrenaline started.
what's happening at the moment? What's happening
At the moment.
Why are you here?
I'm,
What's
I'm
happening?
here. I'm doing guest spot in this lovely city in Denmark called Odense or Odense.
City of Odin.
City of Odin, the horse that's swimming in the river and spitting water around. So I do guest spot here because I have many customers here that I fell in love with during the work here for
During the journey.
For last 7 years. If we can start about the journey, then we could start where I started.
Yeah, so what were you thinking when you started apprenticing and learning stuff? How did you imagine in your future in 2 years, in 4 years, in 6 years,
Yeah.
and now in 7 years? So what you were thinking back then
Yeah.
compared to where you are now?
First year. Well, I started in England in a house. The way I shouldn't recommend anyone start, but I totally understand that a lot of people start that way because of the knowledge and everything else. It's just simply how it is, you know. So there will be always people who risk it and who don't give a fuck until you learn it and burn your fingers.
You learn it and burn it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I started at house, but it didn't long really. It wasn't going for long, you know. It was 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I can't remember. Maybe 4 months.
What happened in your head then? You're like,
this
this is not for me, or what?
This was when I looked at it, I was like, "Fuck, it's easier than it looks," you know. And it's easy. It looks super easy. And when I started tattooing, I was like, "Fuck, I don't know anything." It was really hard. I wanted to give up because I was sweating. My back was hurting. So I'm surprised that most people these days just keep fucking doing it. Terrible work at home and they don't give up. Like it's in some ways that's like amazing. I was like really fucking destroyed by it. So then I quit.
There's better ways to. You can become a YouTuber
Definitely.
and nail it.
Right now when this podcast
Thing.
yeah, it shows so many tricks and tips that I would like to use. I would be happy to use it back in days, you know. Yeah, well, basically,
Okay.
I quit and then I started again after 1 year because fortunately someone saw my work and thought, oh, well, you could try because you are also drawing and shit. I kind of liked drawing back days and I thought I'm a fucking like artistic dude, you know. The thing that you just draw at home means nothing because you probably suck at drawing if you draw for fun. Mostly, you know. And a lot of people think, oh, they're so talented. But so basically when I started tattooing...
It's one of those things, just because you do it doesn't mean it's good. Like,
You have to learn some rules. People draw good after finishing schools, not before, you know. If you finish it properly. You learn from shit. So I started tattooing. I came to the shop like with completely different understanding. The styles I liked, it was completely different. It was all about like the popular stuff that you actually see around. It wasn't like the things I've never seen before was old school traditional and Japanese. I've seen in the movies. I always thought it's weird, you know, but it's something that I didn't look up that often. So for me it was just, you know, what you see on streets, like this biomechanical stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. And then I had a lot of guest artists going through the shop every time from time to time, and everyone bring their own ideas. So I was just like, oh, okay, okay. So first year was pretty much understanding how to get better in lines, in tattooing in general, like all technical aspects. And I didn't even think about my own style. Like it was more like, fuck, I have to just get good
Master
with
the
tattooing.
technique.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's year 2. What happened 2 years later?
Actually, I really think that after almost perfectly 1 year, I saw one of our guest artists painting it, a flash, and I was like, fuck, I need to learn this. And also around half a year and year's time, I was almost like the guys just showed me this is the way to do it, old school, and I looked at it and I looked at the professional works of it and I fell in love straight away, and I was shocked about these straight lines. I didn't know that you can actually do a bold straight line like that. It looks like it's printed on. So I fell in love in around year's time in traditional and old school, and that style was, in my opinion, at that time all about drawing your designs. Plus, I really, man, it's truth, but I remember from beginning of tattooing, I always wanted to do custom designs. Like I wanted to draw my own. I had this vision that I could, I know how to draw. I could draw my own designs. And when I started tattooing, I realized I'm fucking bad at drawing.
What were you drawing? I know many people like start with some manga and some weird shit, something they scratch out with the thin pen.
I had horror. I had like biomechanic kind of type shit, black and gray, you know, skulls and demons and
Evil stuff.
metal shit.
Okay, okay.
So, but yeah. This in the second year, I was just starting to paint. I remember. I have even paintings from that year. I was going nuts, man. Not as nuts as now, but I remember I was sitting late nights just redrawing the same design like many times. I wasn't satisfied about the lines, everything. I looked at the good shit that was in front of me, and I looked at my shit. I was like, this doesn't look good.
This is not that.
So second year was just trying to trace a lot of old school and remake it a little bit. I was always tracing it traditional tattoo and from existing work, but I changed some things and I changed details and it looked a little different. Of course, there have been situations that you didn't do that because of your knowledge and when you're a beginner, you just do whatever it comes, I think, because you just want to fucking learn.
Jumping 2 years later,
The third year.
At year 5 of your career.
I've been painting a lot, trying different things, you know. I think in that time, fifth year, I think I started to kind of have my own signature. A little bit, tiny bit. But it's not because of my experience, it's because I always try to draw my own. And maybe the designs didn't look good in all like it should look, but they were customized and still clean. I learned how to tattoo clean work. What else I can say? What I learned, I started guest spotting.
And what did that change in your life? Guest spot. Guest spot is
Again,
exciting
like,
subject.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was really stressed. I learned one of the things that you adapt to in a new place, because every new environment makes it hard for you to figure out which is the most comfortable place. I remember the first guest spots, I really didn't know how to set up my shit around me.
And the last year, you moved out from the hometown?
I can tell, like,
You moved out from the place where
3 years ago, I started being active. That's like, yeah, fifth year. I started doing conventions, guest spots, and from that day, a lot of things changed. I learned so much from everyone, like even how the shop runs and whatnot, and also about paintings and stuff. And I realized that There's so many good tattooers, and if you think you're special, you're wrong. So
Okay, so where you at now? What's happening in your life, Mr. Carlos? Because people been asking, where's that guy with tired eyes and all that stuff. By the
Yeah.
way, we're gonna throw in a little explanation.
yeah,
Some people are like, oh, why they look stoned or something. We tired. We do this after work, so we've been looking at the lines of tattoos for all day, and it's not like our freshest faces.
yeah, exactly.
Don't do drugs.
Never do drugs. This is one of first lessons in this episode you're gonna learn.
Yeah, if you do drugs and tattoos, you might think your tattoos are better than.
Good one. I was moving away from Denmark and going to Latvia, and there I felt like I graduated my tattoo school, which was I think 7 years for me. I really went to the new school. That's like a fucking next level school.
University.
Yeah. But now I feel really confident in my work. I try new styles where I again learn some new things. A traditional. Plus, I started doing what you call art type of movement. I started paint bigger paintings, and there is one colleague of mine that's really good at paintings, and again this is a new studying for me. I learn new techniques, I buy new brushes, I buy new papers. Now for me it's like I don't even like I just go to the shops and I improvise. I'm like, oh, look at this page, you know, I would like to try on this material. Like it's really exploring. Yeah, and I decided also step into art more.
Department.
Yeah. So we gonna make art exhibition in Latvia. Yeah, is that's what it's called. So there will be art show with my paintings and my colleagues' paintings. Emil Trump, follow him on Instagram and wherever he is. Check out his work. He's awesome. We're gonna do like a proper art show about paintings.
Painting art from perspective of tattoo artists.
Yeah, you could feel tattoo style in it, but these paintings are really like you can see. I've been studying the shit for many years. Like for a beginner, it's a lot, and Emil's been doing this shit for long. So this is actually a proper. I think it's a proper art show because there've been a lot of paintings created before that show.
One question.
Uh-huh.
What's up with that triangle thing with eyes and spokes and all that?
I like for real, man. From beginning, I was always obsessed that, no, like angry at people who ask for triangle tattoos, and I couldn't figure out why it's so popular. And then I realized, fuck it, I will cripple that triangle. I'll make it look like a bush, just with the eyes, and with like a black hole in it, so you can travel in time when you go through that triangle. And I wanted to see what's the reaction then, and the reaction is there is no reaction. Though, well, some people ask me what the fuck, it's so funny, you know, but
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah, so I'm actually doing series of that shit because I got hooked up. I think it represents my dark mind.
Cool.
And I want to do more of that shit.
So we are at the Carlos now, and this is story of the two artists in 7 years. So first year, nothing. First 2 years, you start to realize what's going on. Year more, you see what's there to go. Couple more years, you start to practice. You know what you want to practice. 5 more years later, you're like, oh, okay, now I'm doing sort of my shit.
Yeah.
And 7 years later, you step out of you move out the mom's apartment.
Yeah,
and you start to live your own life.
Funny, man, because like it was like almost like my dream when I was a kid, because I loved it to draw back and I was going to art school, so never finished it. But Now I just felt like it's right time, because there have been a lot of work put in, and this is the right time to start the other shit. But it's nothing, because the start can be also for many years. This is again maybe next 7 years.
So what was
For,
the thing that made it happen?
A lot of people around that I met. That always helps. When you meet new people, you have new ideas and blah blah blah.
Excellent answer. Practice makes it perfect as well, I think, in my opinion.
Well, always. I've been painting no matter what since I started tattooing. I realized there is millions of tattooers, and if I'm not gonna get better, maybe I will not have a job. That was also the first fucking years of my struggle. I was like, fuck, I have to get better. I have a chance to make money out of my drawings. I'm like the happiest person on planet. Before I had nothing, and I was like, all or nothing. Still this day, fucking going nuts, and I love what I do, and I think people should do the same.
Amen! Okay, people. We're done with this stuff. Now you leave your comments. What made it move on forward? What inspires you in your tattoo work? And where you want to be in the near and far future. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I would love to read that. No, seriously, put that shit down. Bam! Put it in.
Yes, and then
Press
press those likes and subscribes and whatnot.
Give it up to the